And multiplayer games on iOS devices are tough. Multiplayer synchronous games are difficult because it's hard to get that many people together that have the game, that have the device, that are ready to play.
So when we're making the case
Right,
that we...
but how often does Space Team do it? Like
That's
once
an
every 3
exception.
months?
They're exceptional.
Oh, I play Space Team all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, but Space Team. But you have
How
to
do we
realize
make the
Space
case
Team
that
is an
we
exception
pulled it
that has
off?
come up very
How do
recently.
we
So
make
the whole
the
thing
case?
is like mythological. So like how do we make the case that we're pulling off this thing?
It just has to be plausible.
This is
That's
So-
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
This is my target audience that we can't actually say in the pitch. Kids who are bored in class who want to play a game with their friends.
I don't think we can say it.
People who have to take GEs. People.
Oh no, we're critiquing the school system in the school system.
You got numbers for that audience?
It's
All every undergraduate student that you would see.
Wow, okay.
G's are terrible.
there's a healthy amount of disconnect in large lecture classes, but that's I mean you could be playing with it too.
We're not pitching anymore.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
not pitching.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, you, all of these things have to be plausible. And the reality of Space Team is that most people have played it once or twice and that's it.
So for making it plausible, like what are the which are the things that we should sort of spend most time addressing and making sound plausible, like or trying to
Or
make the case?
change.
Yeah. As in like, do you think it is plausible you could make a deal with the latency of casting times being short but effect times being long, and deal with and so set up a multi-platform, having people on their own iPhone playing together across the way with somebody else on their own iPhone, and hitting some combos together. The idea of like what are the things that we should?
See, I
First of all, you keep on saying iPhone. Why does that have to be permanent?
That's true. That's true. So iOS. Should we
Yeah,
say
iOS.
iOS?
No, why does iOS have to be permanent? I mean, does this have to be an iOS game?
Interesting.
Keep everything open. Yeah, I mean, you say
Yeah.
interesting, but
No, that's a fair-
you
interesting
said
is
that.
like that makes some sense.
Yeah.
Interesting is like a recognition of validity.
Yeah,
Because
I
we
mean,
can talk
making
about
it, yes,
phones.
making a game, making it as a small team that is, coming out of college. iOS is not the only platform out there available. There's Steam, there's Greenlight, there's Android, which is actually a very viable market outside of America. If you're going to be in China, you're going to be on Android. There's all sorts of different things out there. Nintendo has opened up space in eShop. There are actually individual guys that only do
So
eShop
if we-
and those other things. Things are
How would you
open.
name that platform? If
Huh?
you say like, would we just say mobiles in general, or would we just say like?
Well,
No, you
no,
need
what
to
I'm
pick
saying
one.
is
Yeah.
you have to pick one.
Okay.
A lot of things that we're pointing out are actually very specific to iOS. Now, I would say that if you said, okay, we're making this game, it's going to be really awesome, and we're going to put it on Steam. And actually that alleviates a lot of things, because we know what PC games are capable of. This is the graphics that we have on hand, this is the processing power that we have on hand. Now you're thinking about other things, your numbers are going to be different in different places in terms of what what your target audience is, what exactly are you going to be asking for, but just recognize that is a variable, it is a variable.
What are the odds that you make like a small team could make a computer game that's competitive with the computer games being made? As in, all the mobile games, no matter how large the team is, they're coming out like similar sort of depth in terms of game. Like computer games, we'd be competing with AAA. That seems like
Well, but
terrifying.
you're not. I don't think you are. I mean, I think that like AAA computer games, a bunch of people are gonna buy Civ,
Yeah.
but generally, I mean, you guys saw the numbers from the PC market. The PC market's actually coming back in a big way, and I think a lot
It's
of it
because of
is
Steam.
because of
Because of
Steam,
Exactly.
and because of small things, I would look at the numbers for Dust Force. Dust Force, they published their numbers on how much money they made and that kind of stuff. And they were very successful, but they went through they made a prototype in Game Maker, and then they got into the Greenlight process on Steam, and they made like a better version of the game, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of things that you can do there. iOS is not the only platform you can use for.
So do you think Steam sounds like the right platform to switch to then?
Well, I mean, that would solve, it would make a lot of the questions that we're bringing up moot,
Yeah.
but it's not the be-all, end-all.
I would actually say things like Xbox Live or the
Xbox.
PlayStation Marketplace.
Yeah, I mean, PlayStation is doing all sorts of things to fund indie. I don't know if you guys have noticed that. I mean, they've done events on campus, they've done events at IndieCade. I know personally a bunch of guys are like, oh yeah, here's a couple 100,000, we're making stuff for PlayStation Vita. That's what they're doing right now.
Yeah.
PlayStation Vita?
yeah.
Isn't that like a very small?
That's the
It's a
new
smaller
PlayStation
market,
Portable.
but
Yeah,
it's a
Oh,
it's a
sorry.
smaller market. But Sony has given them money.
Yeah.
You know, they're actually able to make a team.
I'm surprised that PlayStation, I should try not use the short name there. They're funding indie games, but like their machines are the most like anti-indie. They feel like this colossal like $700 thing, which is not casual, it's not chill, it's not relaxing. That's some like hardcore like I better get 1,000 hours out of whatever I'm playing. Like that feels.
Yeah, well,
They've seen success from things like, like all of that Game Company's games and Unfinished Swan and that kind of stuff. That's all funded by Sony.
Yeah.
So, and having multiple people sitting on the couch together fixes your network issues. And just in terms of, we got to get this thing dev in 6 months because we run out of money for food in 6 months. Like network issues are a problem.
So what I'm worried about there is if we go to consoles, the hard consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, it means we're competing with the real, Ultimate Alliance. Like they already made that game twice.
sure.
Yeah, but did it sell?
The critical reviews
So,
for 2 were good.
Then
So-
then you move on to game design.
So how do we like?
That's a question for you guys. What else can we
Yep.
do? Is there a big thing that we can add on? Is there a little thing that we can add on? Is there a little thing that we can add on that would actually potentially target us towards an audience that is not the audience that already bought Marvel? This is actually a lot of game design stuff that you need to figure out. Brainstorming on the possibilities in terms of game mechanics that you can put on. Yes.
Can you do online network multiplayer on PSN with PlayStation Move?
Yes.
You should be
That
able
could
to.
be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
Vending
Yes.
for
Yeah.
PlayStation Move multiplayer on, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and
By the way, you can also do PSN to PC.
Oh, really?
can you?
Yeah, you can.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
If they ran their own servers, or is there support for that on the Sony servers?
There's support.
Wow, cool.
We'll likely.
And
have
I'm
some-
just saying, there's all sorts of things, like, you gotta do some research into this and then make some decisions as to what you're going to do.
That would
We
also
have some questions.
differentiate you guys well from the other one, which is a iOS game. And the other thing to look at, it's not just game design, it's theming. I mean, for God's sake, like Guacamelee is fantastic, really fantastic, and it's basically selling because it has amazing theming and tongue-in-cheek humor that a large studio would never ever do. So, we need to move on to the next group, I think.
Yeah.
I think we'll have some questions for
You're
you
good.
later.
Yeah, come on
in terms
up.
of theming, like right now we're using Avatar, the Airbender stuff, the
Sure.
city
Yeah.
like largest.
I don't know, we don't know this presentation.
Do you think that's gonna work, or is that next?
Just use one.
I think it certainly could. Yeah, you guys like. I remember that now. Yeah, you can't say you're not saying that part. Do that. I think that having yeah,
So just sit down in front of us.
like having things like screenshots and more art to sort of set the mood in the setting would be really helpful. I got very little feel for the look of the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that was mine.
Oh, and try and share your speaking form as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.